the main purpose of this discussion is to understand about why BABoK. BABoK means business analysis body of knowledge has come into picture. What is the purpose of it, and how they have defined a business analysis, and who is business analyst as per BABoK, and how we need to read or understand the BABoK guide. So, in which way it is organized, we are going to understand in these discussions. Okay. Now, basically, by the word BABoK, we all know about this six knowledge areas. We will be knowing about six knowledge areas. Along with the six knowledge areas, generally, if anyone speaks about BABoK means they say six knowledge areas. Along with the six knowledge areas, we have these underlying competencies, perspectives, then techniques. Okay, so these comes into picture. Now, let us try to understand what is BABoK. Generally, it is not a book. It is called as a body of knowledge. Now, every vertical has a body of knowledge. Let me say software engineers has CBAP, project managers has a PMBOK, like body of knowledges will have, and similarly business analysts have BABoK, business analysis body of knowledge. Okay. Now, why this BABoK has been proposed, or it has been prepared, or why it has been introduced in the market is to enable all industries, companies, and the practitioners of the business analysis, okay, to understand the business analysis in the right way. Since business analysis is very new to industry, many of them may mistake business analysis for something else. So they want to streamline the business analysis in the right direction in one way, and they want to make let me say your managers set expectations on business analysts in the right way, and also to make the business analysts understand the business analysis in the right way. So it's like it's educating both the practitioners and the managers of the practitioners expect business analysis in the same way. For it has been proposed. Okay. And while proposing it, they have seen the best practices and made them standards, and they proposed it. Okay. Now, BABoK is not prepared by a single individual. Like more than let me say 500-600 people contributed their ideas, and more than 1,000 people has confirmed that they are been using it, and then they proposed it. It is not simply like a one man has written a book like that. It is not this. BABoK is it's like a combination, or it is a collection of the best practices of the business analysts in this particular globe. Okay, it's like so everything you can find, all concepts have been addressed here. Every discussion has been mentioned here. Whatever we do as a part of business analysis, you can have a mention of it here. So that is what it is. And now BABoK, it describes business analysis through knowledge areas. Okay, through knowledge areas. That is the main important keyword which you all need to understand. And we have tasks. A collection of tasks becomes knowledge areas. Okay, and then we have underlying competencies. That means what skill set a business analyst should have in order to actually do this particular task. That is what the underlying competencies. Then techniques. Techniques means here we have numerous techniques like to perform a particular task. Okay, so like a brainstorming, document analysis, or it is like good communication or email etiquettes, like that. These are all the techniques which we actually use okay, to perform a particular task. And we have various perspectives as well. Perspectives means now present today, business analysis is done from, let me say, 5 perspectives. One is IT perspective, the other one is agile perspective, the other one is like a business process management perspective, or business architecture perspective, or business intelligence perspective. So we have various perspectives of doing business analysis. Business analysis is not performed in a sole way. We have some flavor attached to it. Present today, we have one flavor attached to it that we call it as a perspective. That means through that perspective only we'll be doing a business analysis tasks. Okay, got it. And here, BABoK, what it actually speaks about is it's straightforward. It says that it breaks the traditional way of doing business analysis. It has come up with new themes, and it focuses on delivering value. It focuses on delivering value to the organizations. Okay. The first thing is that we should understand, business analysts should understand the stakeholders. First of all, we should understand the stakeholders, because every stakeholder has their own behavioral patterns. So we need to understand their behavioral patterns, their mindset, and we should be able to understand what they say and what they mean, because definitely there is a lot of gap between what people say and what they mean by it. So we need to understand that particular gap, and sometimes we should able to read between the lines and understand their requirements. And another important thing is that as a business analyst, we should be flexible and adaptable to the circumstances or to the context given. We can't come up with a rigid mindset saying that thinking that so and so work can be done in so and so way. You cannot actually restrict yourself in that way. So you should be flexible enough to understand what it is. So it's like new ideas, new thoughts. When the stakeholders are coming up and they are discussing with you, be open and to and accept them that it is possible. Okay. So as the technology is advancing, so many impossible things are being possible. So many impossible tasks, we can now do it as a possible tasks now. So there's a lot of variations that has happened through time, and only thing, we should be flexible enough to understand what our stakeholders are saying, and we should be adapted to the incoming changes. Okay. And we should accept it. First of all, we should accept them, then automatically whatever the thoughts they come, we can give it a positive thought. And optimistic thought process is very, very important in this particular context. Okay. And here we should focus on the initiatives, not as a project. Now, generally as a business analyst, we work in projects. We think like a developer or a tester, like we actually think about projects. Now, as a business analyst, project is a small term which we use. Instead of projects, we speak about the initiatives. We should focus on the initiatives. Okay. Initiatives means it sometimes immediate solution may be possible, sometimes immediate solution may not be possible, but we should actually focus on the initiatives and not on directly on the projects. Okay. And here, for us to do business analysis, they have given us some key concepts which we'll be discussing. So we have to actually, any problem has come, any challenge has come, or any opportunity has come to us, first of all, you have to incorporate those key concepts on it. You have to set it through these key concepts. So therefore, it becomes easy for us to actually handle that particular initiative. So we have to actually understand any problem that is coming, or any initiative we have, or any opportunity we have through these key concepts. So once if any problem is given to us, we have to first incorporate those key concepts, and then we have to handle it. Then it becomes easy for us. Okay. And we should focus mostly on the changes that will happen in the organizations, in the process, in the enterprises, rather than focusing on the solutions that make it happen, because change is very, very vital and important. So to make this change, one of solution is a part of it. Solution is a part to enable the change. Okay. To enable a change, solution is only a small part of it. Therefore, we need to understand that we have to focus on the change that is going to happen rather than the solution, because solutions is just a carrier, like they enable the change, but we need to focus on the change. Okay, that how a change is possible, that is what is the as is state and what is the to be state, and how it transforms the from the as is state to this to be state, that we need to focus on it. Okay, and then it's like we need to focus on the approaches, not the plans. Now it is always dynamic, like because plans means they're rigid, they're not flexible. So we need to understand the approaches. That means if a showstopper comes, we should actually focus on the approaches, and then we have to overcome it. So approach is something. Okay, approach is something which we can understand it. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, so here we should be focusing on the approaches. That means it is something like don't fix your mindset to follow a plan. Now everything is changing. Agility is the mindset. Agility should be our mindset. For agility, approach is more important than the plan, because plan is a fixed one, it's a rigid. Most of the times plans are rigid. We have that's the very reason generally we say plan one, plan A, plan B, plan C. That means if plan A fails, we go to plan B. But plan A is fixed. You can't change plans. You can't change plans, but you have multiple plans. That is a previous approach of having plans. The present approach, the current approach, and the current best practice is we have to come up with an approach rather than a plan. We have to come up with an approach rather than the plan. Fine, you got me. So here planning, yes, planning is important, but doesn't mean we should be fixing ourselves. We should let me say we shouldn't be rigid in following a plan. If any challenges come in the middle, we should be like open, and we should handle it, and we should overcome it, and we should follow an approach. So we should be following approaches, and don't stick yourself to plans. Okay, and this approaches are very very important for us. So to have a concrete plan about an approach is to the mindset. The mindset should be agile. The agility should be our mindset. Therefore we will prefer an approach rather than a plan. Okay, and always governance is very very important for us to do our business analysis activities. Now governance means we have multiple ways of having this governance. Like the first governance is you can consider it from a BA perspective. BA governance we can have, and the second one is concerning the what we say the project management governance. They will be having it, and the third governance we will be having on the domain front. And from the domain front or from the process front, we may have some compliances which we need to adopt to, which we have to adhere to. And sometimes we should also think about the like the government policies, okay, and the government initiatives. All this comes into picture. So governance, so governance comes in multiple variations here. The first one is a business analysis governance. The second one is how we actually handle this particular approach. Most of the times it is project management will also come into picture. And then we also need to consider the governance of the concerning organization means the governance organizations will be there. Like let me consider, suppose if it is a banking project, we should be this should adopt to the RBI regulations. So RBI regulations should be there. Okay, so we should also consider those things. And sometimes standards will be there. Sometimes standards will be proposed. Let me say if you are working on a healthcare project, then HIPAA 7 is a like a standard procedure which has been proposed. So we should know about it, and we should be adhering to it. So governance is very very important. Before we actually start our business analysis activities, we should be aware of the governance of the governance policies like BA policies, and then project management policies, and like this governing body organizations governing bodies rules and regulations and directives and compliances we should be adhering to. So all these things we should be able to understand it. Okay. And then coming to the designs. Now, for us to start our business analysis activities, we should have an idea of what we are trying to do. Business analysis means what we take as an input and what we actually give as an output. That we should be very clear. What we take as an input is the requirements from the stakeholders, and what we give as an output is it's a design. It is a design like let me say activity diagrams, flow charts, or it can be like a customer maps, customer journey. And likewise we will be coming up with some design patterns. So these design patterns will be our outputs. Okay. So here we should be very clear as a business analyst to what we are going to take as an input and what we are going to generate as an output. So our outputs will be the design patterns, and these design patterns are picked up by the development team or by the technical team, architects, and these people will pick into this these designs, and from there they do their work, they do their task, they do the development. So that will happen. Actually, the solution designing and development will happen after we give our designs to the technical team. So we need to understand about the designs that can happen here. And next is information management versus communication. So here it's very, very important that what BABoK says is that okay, we should have a centralized repository of business analysis information and the project information, where all the resources who are a part of it, or we can say the stakeholders who are a part of it, should be having access to. And here we have few themes like we have to communicate. When it comes to communication, we have to communicate the right information to the right stakeholder at the right time. So that is what we have learned in the traditional way. Now what the new way of organizing the information is, now we have to give access to the concerning stakeholders at their level of their what we say influence or impact. We have to give them that like and this information we should have a central repository, like I can say it's a database kind of thing, where the concerning stakeholders will have access to it, and they can access the level of information which they could see it. So here we'll have that uh, like uh, like privileges will be given to the stakeholders to access the information to their extent. So that we have to do it. So here what is more important is information management. That means any the current information will be posted at only one place and everybody refers to it. It's not like we don't communicate individually any progress that is happening. We actually communicate the progress, or we update the progress at one central repository, and everyone will have access, and all the stakeholders will have access to that particular repository, and everyone will get the right information, correct information. So this is about the information management. So generally we call it as, in few cases we can call it as MIS, so management information system, like that. So here we'll be following that one. And generally the traditional approaches has been overcome here. And what we try to do here is like if you see that we should be agile mindset is very, very important for a business analyst. And the most important thing is that we should understand our stakeholders, and we should be flexible enough and adaptable, and we should accept the stakeholders as well as the context of how the project is going to happen and the initiatives. Okay, and we should be aware of the key concepts, and we should be open to changes that was going to happen, and we should focus on the approaches, and we should have an idea on the governance, and we should have a clear cut picture of the designs which are going to actually work on it and deliver it. And we should, how we are going to do it is through information management. All this information management means how the stakeholders are being informed, and where the current state, or the what we say, the latest updates will be done at one place, and everybody and all the stakeholders will have access to it. So this is in a nutshell how BABoK works, is that this is how it should be working. Okay, and these are the themes which is followed by the BABoK. Okay, next we are going to discuss about okay, so about this BABoK, okay, about this business analysis body of knowledge, what it actually is going to do is that it has defined a business analyst profession with the commonly accepted practices. That means now previously everyone has their own notations about business analysis. So generally we let me say they have given few practices, one designations or names to it, or labeled it, so that it becomes easy for everyone to communicate in the right way. It is just like they defined a commonly accepted language, so that all business analysts could easily understand this business analysis. So that's what they have been doing it. Let me say elicitation techniques, that is proposed by uh, like this BABoK. It says elicitation techniques. Now later on they fine-tuned these elicitation techniques to techniques, because not every time we do an elicitation using a technique, sometimes we may clarify, sometimes we may be like confirming, sometimes we may be communicating using a technique. So there's therefore they fine-tuned the elicitation technique to technique, and they have made the elicitation as a separate discipline altogether. So here they are doing a continuous research, and they are making it very clear to the BA community how the business analysis can be done, and how it can be easily understood by understand. They have written it in an understandable language to all the business analyst community. Okay, and here we have been discussing about the necessary skills. Most of the times the skills what is expected, and the knowledge which is which is required for us to communicate. And they are here they have been that is the very reason they come up with this six knowledge areas, and they come up with these underlying competencies, and they proposed there's the perspectives of doing a business analysis, and there's a extensive list of techniques has been proposed there. Now all this to ensure that the people who are hiring business analysts, they should be aware of what they expect from a business analyst, and people who are practicing or who are learning business analysis, they should also be very clear like what is expected from them. For that reason BABoK is taken as the reference. Okay, and here we need to understand that okay, this business analysis is applied not only for projects, for the entire enterprise, and all. Not only that, it is like we actually do it for improvement of the business process, and sometimes propose new initiatives, and we actually go with continuous improvement. So BABoK always says that we should focus on continuous improvement. Improvement is nothing but change. So here we should be open to change, and we should enable the environment to change. That's the very reason where we can see a lot of enhancements or developments that can happen in any organization or in any process. So here business analysis should enable the organization to change from the previous state to a new state, thereby getting more benefits because of this change. So here benefits we call it as values. Benefits we call it as values. So this is expected from BABoK. So BABoK is a guide where at a very high level to understand it, where the people who are going to hire a BA, they will be going through it to understand what should be expected from business analyst. And business analysts who are going to perform on business analysis tasks, they will be going through it to understand what is expected from them. So it is a baseline for it is a benchmark. We can call it as a benchmark for all the business analyst community. Fine, got it. And then we can understand the BABoK, how it is going to happen. Now for that, you can see here project. Generally we all see a project. Before we do a project, we have pre-project activities and post-project activities will be there. It is very clear that we are going to have pre-project activities and post-project activities will be there, and in between we actually work on a project. Now in the same way, if you look from a different dimension, initially we have a rationale. Rationale means some reasons of why we are doing this particular project, and project means we deliver that value. And in the benefits, here we are going to understand what value we are going to have because of this particular project, and how, what is the comfort zone we have got it, what is the benefits list we got it, that we are going to see after the project. We are going to have this benefits list. Okay, so initially this is the reason why we need to start a particular initiative. Rationale means why we need to start a particular initiative, that is discussed in the rationale. And delivery means it can be a project delivery or an initiative. We can work on it and we can deliver, and once that initiative is completed, then because of that initiative we get a benefits list. Because of that initiative we get a benefits list. Fine, got it, clear on this? And then if you, the same thing, if you want to view from a business analysis perspective, here we have three knowledge areas been involved here. The first one is strategy analysis, the second one is requirements analysis, design and definition. Okay, and then we have this solution evaluation. Okay, so here strategy analysis understand the context of the project, the context of this particular initiative. That means why this project has come into picture, what they want to achieve here. That is been here in the strategy analysis. We are going to analyze it. So previous versions of BABoK says the same strategy analysis as enterprise analysis. Okay, they say it as enterprise analysis. Now they have changed this enterprise analysis to strategy analysis. Strategy analysis, now we have to ensure that we have to understand why this particular initiative has been initiated, what reasons are there, we need to understand it, what is the opportunity we have here to actually address and understand it. So, and then we have this requirements analysis, design and definition. We have the definitions and designs, we have it here. And here we are going to understand the actual requirements, and then we have to work on it, and finally we will enable the solution evaluation. Solution evaluation means whatever we propose as a solution and how that solution is mapped onto the requirements that is given in the solution evaluation. So these things, just generally from a BA perspective, when we work in a project, these three knowledge areas will be utilized in this way. The first one is the strategy analysis. Strategy analysis would be like looking into the, like so from the strategy analysis we have this requirements analysis, design, and the design definitions will be there. And then finally once we deliver the project, in that stage we will be having the solution evaluation. So BA perspective, we actually work in a project in this particular approach. Fine, got it? And then from a BABoK perspective, what is a business analysis? Okay, now here basically what we do is we enable change in an enterprise. That is for sure. It is not exactly like we build applications kind of thing. Building applications is a part of what we do as a business analyst. Okay, but basically what we do is we have to enable change in an organization. Okay, and this enabling change we can do by defining needs, and we can recommend solutions that deliver value to the stakeholders. Here we are, keywords are needs, and then solutions, then values, then stakeholders, and all this we do it through a particular context. Okay, we do it through a particular context. Fine. Now here as a BA, what we do is that we'll be defining the needs and recommend solutions, and these solutions will deliver value to the stakeholders under a given context. Under a given context, this will happen. Okay, now what we have to do is that we have to articulate the needs and rationale for the change. That means why this change should happen, we should come up with the reasons, proper reasons why this change should happen. We should come up with the proper reasons, and we should able to articulate the need in the right vocabulary, so that we can connect it to business analysis terminology, and then we can take it forward. Okay, and then finally we have to come up with the design patterns, as I've been saying you, like how a solution can be like be given back to the stakeholders. So that solution, the design we should actually come up with that. And most of the times these design patterns can be our the diagrams which we draw. The designs would be like activity diagrams, or use case diagrams, or flow charts, or personas, or it can be like journey maps of the customers. Likewise, we have numerous what we say design patterns which we can come up with, or it can be a dashboard like that. So we can come up with that, and then from there how a solution can be achieved, we should come up with that approach. Okay, so that is what we exactly do as a part of business analysis. So business analysis is basically what we do is that we enable change in an enterprise. That is very, very important. Okay, and coming to this, for for us to enable this change, we need to understand this like the strategic, tactical, or operational initiatives. That is the base we have to understand. Change cannot generally happen just like that. The context in which we need to make the change, that is very, very important. That is described through strategic, tactical, and operational initiative. That means we have to understand the current state where we are in, and we have to define the future state where we have to actually reach up to. And next we have to understand, or we have to determine like what activities are required to move from the current state to the future state. How this change can happen, we have to define it through the existing context. That is very, very important. Through the existing context, how this change can happen, that we are going to discuss in business analysis. Okay, so that is what business analysis is defined like. It is basically we enable change in an enterprise, and this change we should understand like the current state and the future state, and what activities enable us to make this change from the current state to the future state. That is we are going to understand as a part of the business analysis. Okay, and then here, not only that, we should also understand the perspectives means now, as I've been telling you, business analysis happen through various perspectives, like number one is in information technology, IT perspective, and then we are going to have an agile perspective, then we are going to have this business process management perspective, then business architecture perspective, then business intelligence perspective. So business analysis now comes through multiple perspectives. Now, IT perspective means for a given change, the change you can do it through an IT solution. A traditional way of software developments will be doing, and there that we can achieve it. Agile perspective means that particular change we are going to happen, we should make it happen through some agile initiatives. Some agile initiatives will be making it happen. And the business process management perspective means it's like here we may not use IT or agile. We may directly go ahead with let me say it's a process. You may not need what we say an IT here. Generally, with some other like you can improve on the existing business process through making some changes or coming up with some initiatives. Okay, now I can tell you. Like I've been the other day I went to a retail store. There at the now they're not allowing everybody inside. So instead, what they said, they gave token system. Now token is not computer generated. That security guard, he writes tokens on a small cardboards, and he gives to each customer whenever he comes near this store. He gives one token. Now they call out the token number, then you have to go it. Now this is not an IT application. It's a simple thing, like a token system is introduced there. Like they give the sequence numbering where they are be allowed. Like only 4 people are allowed into the store at a time. So the rest of the people will be waiting outside, maintaining the social distance. So here it's a process. It's a business process management. It is improving on the existing process. They're doing it. Now there you don't require an IT. Not always IT is required to enable change or to make an improvement. Sometimes normal procedures, normal initiatives can also, without IT or agility as well, we can achieve this change. So such things we can actually propose, and that is addressed in business process management perspectives. Okay, and then we have this business architecture perspective. Let me say business architecture means new initiatives may come, or you're going to start a new business. So you can come up with your own architecture. So it may vary from, it is a new process which you can actually come up with it. Okay, so I'll tell you, for the very first time, they started this online online shopping, right? For the very first time they come up with this online shopping. Now nobody knows what is online shopping at that time. So somebody has come with an initiative. They say you keep your products here. Products mean they can't physically keep the products, they will display their product features. They take the pictures, they say the so and so product is available, somebody will buy it and somebody will go. That is a new thing is happening in the society. That is a new initiative. So for that, initially we should come up with a business architecture, how this can be happening. That comes with an architecture. When come to the traditional way means you walk into a store and then you buy it and you come back. But this is a new way. The new way, the business architecture, it comes from the customer perspective, how it happens, from the business owner perspective, how it happens, and the let me say from the process perspective, how it happens, and from the vendors or the concerning stakeholders, how it happens. So all this is defined in business architecture. Okay, that happens in the business architecture. That means you propose a new thing that is going to happen. That is business architecture. Now the another perspective is a business intelligence perspective. Business intelligence perspective means I can tell you it is all about data science and let me say analytics. So here we'll be using the tools like SAS and R, or we will be going with learning this or implementing this Python, like that. All this is there. And what do you mean by actually business intelligence? Business intelligence means we data mine and we come up with some value added initiatives, some proposals where the business is going to benefit of the previous trends of the data that has been stored there. Okay, I'll give you a simple example. Nowadays, when you walk into a store, you come up with so many offers. How they come up with the offer? Let me say the offer can be in this way: you shop for 1,000 rupees and you will get sugar for 10 rupees only, or you will buy 5 kg sugar, you will get let me say one penile free. Like that, they come up with so many offers. Now how they could come up with such an offer? Okay, they don't generally just come up with an offer just like that. They will be looking into the empirical data, that is the old data of they will understand the patterns of how these customers are buying their goods, and what is the relationship between these all these items, the goods that has been sold in a single bill. What is the frequency of seeing so and so item, and the combinations of the items, how it happens. They will look into the pattern, and for that they use various tools, various analytics tools. They will be using it, and based on it they come up with new offers. They'll say that okay, using this we can do it, or they look into the previous let me say 5 years history of how this particular store is performing, and they can predict next 1 year may, each month may, how the sales will go. They will easily predict. So in a month where the sales is expected to be low, then they come up with the new offers. Okay, and all this the basically I'm telling you a simple example so that you can easily connect to the subject. For that reason I'm taking a retail store as an example here. So that is how we are going to make it up, that business intelligence is all about like data analytics, and using of tools, and understanding how they add value to the business. So these are the 5 perspectives which we are going to have. And as a business analyst, we can come up with this 4 variants, like IT, information technology. We can adapt to IT, we can adapt to agile, we can go with business process management, and we can go with even business architecture, business analysis as well. And business intelligence, once again, it branches into data science. Now data science is a sub beta data science, and analytics is become a big vertical by itself, so that is branching out to a new vertical. So even that is added here, but we don't get into that vertical. So the first 4 perspectives, we are going to cover it in detail. And to excel in the 5th perspective, we should specialize in those tools. Then only we can get into this 5th vertical. Fine, got it. And now you take any initiative, you can have one or more perspectives being applied here. And here this all depends on that particular context of that particular initiative. So here what we discuss is that we discuss each perspective by individual by itself, and a combination of it using our what we say analysis skills, we have to actually adopt to it and implement it. So here in BABoK we will be discussing each what we say perspective individually. Okay, fine. And then we have this let us try to understand who is a business analyst. Okay, now generally what BABoK says is that the resources who perform business analysis is a business analyst, and business analyst is not a designation, it is not a job title, it is not a role. It is like they say whoever performs this business analysis activities, he's considered to be a business analyst. Okay, and as a business analyst what we do, we discover, synthesize, analyze information from variety of sources that we actually do, and we elicit stakeholder needs, investigate and clarify desires to understand issues and causes. That means here we will be communicating with the stakeholders to understand their needs. That's what I've been saying, to understand their needs, and then we will be investigating and clarifying what they actually want, what they're expecting out of this particular initiative, and so what made them actually come up with this, that is the challenging areas, or the issues which they have, because of it they're coming up with this initiative. We should understand it better. So this is something like we should be actually interacting with the stakeholders. Before we interact with the stakeholders, we should understand our role first, what we actually do, and then we will be like what we actually do is that we synthesize information. Information means it's all about the requirements. The main part of the information should be our requirements, by which that initiative should kick off. So here we'll be initially discovering it, synthesizing it, and analyzing information from variety of sources. That means from multiple sources. Mostly it will be like the stakeholders they give you, or the process documents, or the governance, like that. We have multiple sources, from there we get it. Okay, and once we get this information, then we have to align this designed whatever align this information in a in the design pattern which we are going to give it, and then we have to initiate the solution development as well. Then we have to initiate the solution development as well, and connect the solution development to the needs that is given by the stakeholders. So that we have to do it. And for us to actually enable this particular change and to do this business analysis, first of all we need to understand the enterprise problems and goals. That means what challenges they're facing now, and where they need to, what is the goal of the particular enterprise, we need to understand it. And then we have to analyze those needs and what solutions they're proposing it. And then we have to come up with the strategies how to actually make this change from the as is to the to be. What strategy will work out, and what tactics we have to follow in order to make it happen. And then we have to drive the change right from the as is state to the to be state. Okay, and then we have to actually collaborate with the stakeholders and to facilitate this change. And the most important thing is that I can tell you the major challenge for a business analyst is to actually handle the mindset of the stakeholders because of this change. So we should enable the stakeholder to accept this change and take up the new, what we say, the new solution, the new context of the to be state. They should be able to accept the to be state as well. So there is a series of discussions should happen between a business analyst and the stakeholder, wherein we have to fine tune the thought process of the stakeholders, because initially they do their particular task in one way, but once this initiative has been given back to them, they have to do the same task from in a different way. So they should adapt to that incoming change. So we should actually brainstorm them, or we should actually influence them, make them understand because of this change your work becomes more easy, and this is how we are going to make it up. So all these things would be there, and we should actually work with customer collaboration, or we can say the stakeholder collaboration. So here what is more important as a business analyst is okay, we need to understand the enterprise problems and goals. Enterprise problems and goals means that no company for the sake of a project they initiate it, they'll be they'll be having some challenges. They'll be facing some challenges, or they would have fixed up one goal. We want to achieve a particular goal. Either a challenge or a goal will initiate a project. So first of all, we need to understand what made this particular organization to come up with a particular project. So what is where a change needs to be enabled, where a change needs to be done, that we need to understand it. So a person who is going to do this particular role is considered to be a business analyst. Okay. Now a business analyst job titles may vary from company to company, and it may change. Like, let me say, sometimes a business analyst, the activities, the business analyst activities are performed by like people who are designated to be like business architects, business system analyst, data analyst, management consultant, then process analyst, product manager, and a product owner, requirements engineer, system analyst. Likewise, we have so many, and we have so many other designations coming into picture. So whatever the designation, whatever the job title may be, but still, if you do business analysis activities, then you'll be considered to be a business analyst. Then you'll be considered to be a business analyst. Fine, got it. Because previously business analyst role is not there. It is newly branching up, is newly coming up in this particular area. So previously these people would have done this business analysis activities, and sometimes companies may not adopt to this new BABoK guidelines. Therefore, they will be still doing business analysis, and their designations or job titles can be one of them. Okay, got it? Clear on this? Now, so BABoK guide, whenever we come across a BABoK, the first thing which comes into our mind is 6 knowledge areas. Now let us try to understand what are the 6 knowledge areas. The first one is a business analysis planning, business analysis planning and monitoring. So the first thing comes as a business analysis planning and monitoring. Okay. So the second one is requirements lifecycle management. Okay. And the third one is elicitation and collaboration. And the fourth knowledge area is requirements analysis and define and design definition. And then we have the strategy analysis, and then we have the solution evaluation. Okay. Now these 6 knowledge areas are very, very important for us. So just to remember it in an easy way, I came up with a shortcut known as please. So please we can easily understand and we can memorize, right? Where P stands for business analysis planning and monitoring, for planning, and L stands for requirements lifecycle management, right? And E stands for elicitation and collaboration. And then we have this requirements analysis, design and definition. Design definition. Now analysis, A stands for analysis, S for strategy analysis, and solution evaluation, like E stands for evaluation, that is solution evaluation. Fine, got it. So these are the 6 knowledge areas which we'll be actually be discussing going forward. And the base of BABoK V3 is the 6 knowledge areas. Okay. So what I want you to do is that I want you to note down the 6 knowledge areas in the same way, and just to try to memorize it. Now I want you to note it down and send a picture back to me. So please note it. Please note these 6 knowledge areas. Okay. Please note these 6 knowledge areas and take a pic of it and send it back to me. Okay.